Hello and welcome to this week's Capsule Cast for Capsule Cast Week 10 of the 2022 season. I am your current host, Destiny. Our original host could not be here for right now. He might show up later, who knows. But with me, I have two special guests. I have Coach of Cold, Xmat, say hello.
Hello.
And we have someone you may have seen on a couple of times, but we have Coach of Royals, Fat Happy, say hello, please.
Yeah, hello. Glad to be here once again.
And how are you two doing? Just try to bring some
I
positive
think
vibes.
I think we're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Consider we both just came off of a glorious win.
The end of a curse. You know?
The end of a what was it 2 or 3 weeks now?
It was 3 weeks. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
technically 3.
yeah, 3 week long loss for the both of us.
It's over. It's over.
Well, technically, if you count the weeks we've been away, it's been 6.
We've somehow both managed, since we're both Isekai, we've both managed to stay at the top of our division, like with Cold in first and the Royals in second, for like 4 weeks straight now, even though we were like lost streaking for 3 weeks, both of us.
The thing is, Namek was doing the same. The GT was the only team winning. It was
That's true,
insane.
It was only
insane.
GT that got
And
some dubs.
we'll be talking about that in a minute because guess who we have for the first match, boys? We have Cold and Hybrids, and my God, this was a glorious win for Cold, if I say so myself. We got a Cooler just running through Nam, and then not quite running through Teen Gohan, but doing his job. He already did his job. He took out a character. Just wanted to do a little more. But seeing as we have him here right now, Xmat, how do you feel about your match here?
Absolutely delighted would be the word. So I'm just Mecha Freezer. Cooler is Cooler. He's he does what he does all the time. He starts, if he comes in, he always seems to do around 60k. I mean, he's on 70 this week, basically, right? So I'm pretty happy with that. But Mecha Freezer, he's been unexpected. We changed him to like his season 10 build kind of thing. We had to change things because we couldn't exactly accommodate his full build. But he's working. He's actually doing work. 50k, pretty good. Zarbon did pretty much his job, and Freezer just finished everything off. So I'm very, very happy, especially considering how good hybrids are. So.
Yeah, I think well, at least before we move on to Fat Happy's thoughts, you also have to remember this is the first time hybrids have lost in basically 8 weeks. They lost week 1, and it took to week 10 to get another one. But Fat Happy, your thoughts?
I mean, watching Final Form Cooler work is always satisfying, I must admit.
I wonder why you say that.
Watching him, how about a little trade or loan? How about it? But watching him absolutely dismantle now was something to watch at the very least. Like Nam was there 1 second, and then he went. He didn't exist anymore. And yeah, Hybrids is currently the strongest, or not strongest, but the team with the highest record in the league. So just the fact that Cole took off a win off of them is huge. And hopefully it's a trend that Hybrids keep losing, because I'm fighting them this week.
Or you know what? At least a trend, and at least a trend until after your match.
Well, I kind of need to, obviously you always love win streak, right? But I really need this to be like a 3-week win streak, because that would mean that we broke the curse, I beat Hybrids, and then I beat Cold in the match.
Oh my god!
So I really need this to be a 3-week win streak. But Cold did really well. It's always nice seeing Mega Freezer. Well, it's always nice and bittersweet seeing Mecha Frieza do well because I used to have him on my team before we traded.
It's nice seeing him do well because he's doing well, but bittersweet because why the fuck didn't you do this for us?
Exactly.
But hey,
But,
you may have gotten
I
the
get
better.
that
You
with
may have
Meta
gotten the
Cooler.
better. You may have gotten the better character overall. Who knows?
Oh yeah, I mean currently
Uh,
Metacooler is top 10. But on hybrid side, obviously Nam, he kind of just folded like a piece of wet paper in to the might of Cooler. But everybody else on hybrids, they did it. But everybody else on hybrids did above their 40k. So like it's not like anyone except Nam slacked on hybrids. It's just that Nam decided to not be a character. So I don't think hybrids should look at this and be like, oh god, we need to do major work on our characters. Nah.
But I have a big question here. Maybe not, depending on things. But since we are coming into the last third of the main season, at least for these two teams, I'll be asking this with every single slide, but with these two teams, where do you think they'll end up at the end of the year?
Bowl, obviously, yep, clearly. Nope. Honestly, well, okay, let's start with hybrids, actually. Hybrids, I think they could actually make it to the bowl. I think they'll make it to the bowl. I don't know about winning it, but I think they could. If not, a semi-final, I could definitely see that.
Alright.
And then for me, I'd happily take a semi-final. Maybe get to the bowl. That would be nice. I think my team it's as complete as it could probably be in terms of everyone performing. So this might be my best shot.
Kind of fix a little bit of Mecha Freeze's sporadicness.
Yeah, and Zarban is. I mean, I know this week did 35k, but Zarban is like what a 50k average. So he's the fact that base Zarban is doing that. I don't think that's gonna happen.
You gotta remember, two of them were an all-star, man. That's two
I know.
all-stars right there.
2 all-stars.
All right, Happy. What's your answer to the question before we move on here?
I mean, obviously, Cold is never gonna make it further than like Cold would probably get into like they're not gonna get to the bowl, they're not gonna get to semifinals. I'm gonna get the bye week.
Oh, okay.
So Cold ain't gonna make it very far. But hybrids. It's weird because last year, for example, we had Resurrected Warriors with their 13-2 win-loss record, I think it was, where they only pretty much lost like twice because they put in Yajirobe on a whim in like the last 2 or 3 weeks. So, and they didn't make it to the bowl, like they didn't make it to the championship yet, the bowl itself. So. I'm not sure if hybrids will actually make it all the way. I think they will probably make it to semifinals, but I can't say for certain if they'll go further than that.
All right.
Nice.
And with that, shall we get moving on?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, moving on. Funny enough, we have match 2 with Resurrected Warriors, who we were just talking about, and Royals, who we were also, just talking about. This match it seemed more back and forth than the stats would lead you to believe, mostly because, Tam, he did his work, he took out basically 2 characters worth, a little bit, plus a little bit more, but Majub and Vegeta, that is a scary lineup to have to go in with the back, but something that should be considered is RW had multiple things removed or randomized off this week from their characters. They had 3 fighting spirits, so it was randomized off of early Goku. They had 2 Super Plus 1, so it was randomized off of N Vegeta. And they had 3 Sirius, so the Sirius was randomized off of Maju.
I remember seeing that when we were just looking at what they had fielded before the match started, and I was just looking like, what went wrong here?
Yeah, look at N Vegeta's damage though. Like even despite having the Super One just took off, just removed from its
Oh, yeah.
existence, it's pretty good.
I mean, all the Vegetas have like incredible base stats. So,
It's just ridiculous still though. Like what?
but yeah, I mean, obviously this match started out great. You know, Tambourine just chilling, doing almost 2 full characters. I think. And then I don't know what happened, but Majin Vegeta came in versus Maju, but then Maju just decided to kick into high gear and just delete Majin Vegeta off the face of the universe.
I thought he
I
was.
believe it
I
was
thought.
Maju.
I thought it was early Goku.
Was it early Goku? I can't remember. I remember.
All I
being
remember is Majin
Vegeta.
Vegeta got spear bombed.
I think what happened is Marju did most of the damage.
Oh, then early Goku
and
came
then
back in
early
and then
Goku
spear
came
bombed
in
him.
and finished
Yes,
him.
yes.
Yeah,
That
that makes
is
more
accurate.
sense. That makes more sense.
And then King Vegeta, I mean, 31k, it's not the best, but you know, he did more or less what he was supposed to do. Like, honestly, Tambourine put in so much work that there wasn't that much work left to do. So obviously, everyone on my team got like a lot of leeway when it came to how much damage they had to do left over. And I remember sitting in chat with a bunch of the other people from the community, just you know, chatting while watching the match, and then they didn't believe in the slug when it was it was in Vegeta and Aider at the end.
It
I
was
believe.
Aider and then Vegeta, yes, versus Slug, and Aider did
Yes.
not really do anything.
Yes.
I think he had no damage. I could be wrong.
No damage
remember
versus
every-
Slug, at least.
Yeah, versus
No.
Slug.
Just no one believes in the Jolly Green Giant, but he always pulls through. So,
He did pull through massively. I will give you that. Like that
Yes.
was very good. Like
now, obviously, if I had lost in that situation because of Slug, I would have been like, "Man, you fucking suck, bro." But that did that.
I
I
mean,
just think that how hard N Vegeta was pulling back, I just didn't imagine Slug being able to just do it.
Because-
But he does have the Darkness Eye Beam and the Finger Beam, so it kind of like he can
And-
spam a lot and he can kind
I
of bring
think-
it out.
I think this is a rare case where RW, since it was a surprisingly close match considering how well Tambourine did,
and also the fact RW had 3 things randomized off.
no, but that's what I mean. Like Tambourine just performed really well, so you could kind of say that RW really shot themselves in the foot by not having proper builds this week. Like more so than usual. Like usually like a single Potara, yeah, it can matter, but not the biggest deal. But when it's like 2 rage Potaras and a blue, then it's like, oh boy, that is a big disadvantage.
Yeah, massive.
So, but yeah,
Like,
I obviously even with the handicap, they still performed really well. So
I was going to say, I think it's a familiar story with RW and the fact that Aya is just not working like how he was last season. He just kind of he exists. He does a little bit of damage, but he doesn't even get to. He gets to like half a character, and it's kind of not great when that's happening.
I'm kind of still reeling from the fact that RW went from like 13-2 to 3-7 right now.
Yeah, I know it's insane, isn't it?
To be fair, that could be said for most of North Kai right now.
Yes, North Kai is so weird. I hate looking at North Kai right now.
Alright.
I both love it and hate it.
I just have 2 questions. One of those, One of those is just, do you think RW could have won this if they had all their builds correct?
I think it would have been much closer, but like since a bunch of one of the Rage Towers was Fighting Spirit, and changing the amount of key a character has available does change how they perform like a great deal more than like just changing how much damage one of their B2 does. So it's kind of hard to say, but obviously it would have definitely been way closer of a match. I believe Slug had around 2 bars left, a bit less than 2 bars left.
2.5, I think.
Was it 2.5?
Yeah.
It was around 2
Now,
bars.
imagine if N Vegeta had a Super +1.
Well,
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
gonna say if N Vegeta had a Super +1, or if like even if he had was an Attack Plus one available, or maybe
I think so.
because he put a Super Plus 2 on Marju, but then he might not perform very well. I don't know how that works with their builds or not, but either way, any blue would have been a lot better than what he had. So
Oh yeah. So,
No.
any blue is better than no blue.
yeah, exactly.
I think this is also
It's like-
I think this is also like the third or fourth time that he's had blue randomized off.
Mate, Energy is just unlucky. He's the cursed child. He just perseveres though.
I
Doesn't matter,
wonder
he's still
why
does 60k.
it keeps happening.
I don't have no idea.
It you know it's like it's happened it's happened more than once, but it's also just weird that it's happened more than once.
If I had a nickel for every time and Vegeta had his Patara randomized off, I'd have a lot of nickels, surprisingly.
Surprising that it happened more than once. But second question is basically the same as the last one. Where do you think these teams will be at by the end of the season, or maybe next season? Who knows?
Well, it says 2021 champions on the Royals banner, and next season's gonna say 2022 champions.
Next
Press
season's
X
gonna
to
say
doubt.
2.
Press X to doubt.
Hey, there is an X. It's on the O.
Yep, I'm pressing it. I'm pressing it.
What's it called? With Resurrected Warriors, it's really hard to tell because North Kai is somehow everyone in North Kai has an immense losing.
They're all negative.
Win rate. Yeah, they're all negative in win rates, and they're all really, really close. They all basically have the same win rate. So North Kai is like an absolute crapshoot, in my opinion. Like, I have no idea how that Kai is gonna go.
Alright.
Okay, for me, RW, I don't want to be like, I don't want to be the negative Nancy, as it were, right? But so I think RW might miss out entirely on playoffs. I think it's between them. For me, it's between them and Muscle, who miss out. But we'll get on to Muscle later. Even if they get through, I don't think that they'll get past the first round because Boojins, and again we'll get on to them later, they looked so much better this week, and ED looked they both look like last season's teams, if you get what I mean. Whereas RW, I don't see that in a minute. So yeah, that RW. As for Royals, well, I mean they're gonna get knocked out first round by Namek probably, or they might sneak past just to make it to me, but then they'll lose obviously. So yeah, so Royals will be out.
Xmat, I hope you realize them's fighting words. Them's fighting words.
Them's fighting words, mate.
Well, I'm gonna have to agree with at least you on RW there. I think either they're going to barely scrape the way in or be the team that gets knocked out. But, you never know. We still have a couple of weeks left, and with how close North Kai is, it's kind of...
I think the thing is with RW, they have a lot of like Marju works, Engia works, early Goku works, but it's just about making Yajirobe consistent, which I think he's been alright.
And
but mainly Aita. It's Aita that's
I think it also is try to get your 3 people who are consistent on the correct build.
That
helps. That does definitely.
It is kind of weird to me that, like, I just opened the stat spreadsheet. It is kind of weird to me that RW is sitting with 3 characters below 40k, with both Yajirobe and Ader. Well, I guess with both Yajirobe and Ader sitting at 31k. It's like
that's rough.
Yeah, and obviously, like, in their case, they don't really have the option of putting in an FA because their FA is General Blue.
They tried putting him in preseason.
That's true. Respect to that. So,
I mean,
but,
you don't want to go from 30k to 10k damage, so there's a bit of a downgrade there.
And and if we've seen anything from General Blue performances, it could lead to an elite performance from the other team.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Don't talk about that. Don't remind me.
All right.
Meanwhile, on my team, Deborah is just crying on the
Yeah,
bench,
Deborah's
like
crying.
looking at Tambourine do like 88k, and meanwhile Deborah just in there twiddling his thumbs. So
You know, it happens, man. It happens. But you know,
it happens. It happens to the best of them.
are we ready to move on?
Yep.
I think so. Yep.
All right. You know, speaking of the booze, gins. We have match 3 here with Bujins versus Budokai, and sadly, we don't have Bujin stats. They were the only stats not finished. But Bujins did win this one. And what? And you know, someone want to tell me why that record seems familiar here?
Oh.
Hmm.
Hmm. North Kai, hey?
Yeah.
But no, this was actually.
God, I hate looking at North Kai.
It's like North Kai's supposed to be the best Kai, and now it's like it has all the worst records.
It's looking at North Kai is like peering at an eldritch evil that you were not meant to look at. Like it feels so wrong to see all these like what have usually been like super strong teams, like with such low records. Is like my brain is just sitting here like, no, this is not reality.
But you know, getting on to the actual match here, at least I remember some of it. I remember that the Spopovich versus the Kid Goku matchup was actually going in Spopovich's favor until Goku went into max power mode. It wasn't False Courage. He did not have False Courage active. But it was max power mode. He ran up. Apparently Kid Goku has like some power body or something because Spopovich just did a double health pushback.
That was so bad. Oh,
I saw that.
still
It was
remember.
amazing.
Just live it happened.
But-
I was like,
And then Kid Goku takes out Spopovich. He tags, but you know, for once in the season, Kid Buu is like, nah, I'm done of everyone disrespecting me. I'm done of everybody saying that I can only do less than my average, which is very low. And I'm going to murder 1.5 people. And, that's what he did. Or actually, he almost murdered 2 people because he was then versus Videl, and you know how high stat characters do versus Videl.
Oh yeah.
unless they get caught in the loops, and then they're kind of like.
I have experience when it comes to discussing the dough.
Yeah. But I thought this was like, okay, it's going in Bujin's favor, but considering how Evil Boo's been recently, that Evil Boo's going to like flop it a little bit. Nah, he didn't. He didn't flop it at all. Majin Buu came in, did his thing. Gotta love the picture I put in for him now.
It's certainly accurate. That's the word.
But
Accurate.
Whether it be American English or English, we can't speak it. But just going on from my perspective, considering how I only remember the match because I basically did this all today.
Hey.
What about you two? How do you guys feel?
I thought it was great to finally see Bujins get like a proper W. My accent changed for some reason.
W, I love it.
It was great seeing Bujins like get like a really solid win. Like it as far as I remember, it was a landslide victory. It's especially when you look at the stats, and not a single character in Budokai did more than like everyone in Budokai did less than 40k around. With the highest being Videl at 38k, with Tao all the way down at 10k. So it was great to see Bujins finally like a bit back to form. As you mentioned previously, like Kid Buu has an abysmal average this season, sitting at 30k as the second lowest on Bujins, which rattles me that he's so low. When historically, Kid Buu has just come in and just planet burst after planet burst into homing pinball attacks like that.
Considering last season, when he was near 100% hit rate planet burst until the finals.
See, that's been the problem. Like this season, he's just refused to throw up planet burst. But this week was different. This week he did great. This week it's looking up. And I think Bujins can be pretty happy with the overall performance of their team this week. For Budokai, I don't really know. I just felt like all their characters just kind of underperformed. Or maybe it was just Bujins being fed up with, losing and then finally deciding to kick it into high gear and just taking out their anger on Budokai. So
yeah, which is sad.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I think obviously Kid Buu doing really well. Not only just planet bursting, but just being really, really aggressive is a massive bonus for Bujins. But Margin Buu, Mr. Consistent. Other than I think Buhan on their team, I think he's literally the second highest.
Yeah, but Buhan's their highest. I think Margin Buu's their second.
No, Evil Boo's their second. Evil Boo and Majin. Evil Boo at 40k, Majin Buu at 39k. So.
Right. Oh, okay. Well, pretty much. Very close, right? But
I know in recent weeks, yes, he's probably been their best. Or second best.
Yeah. So Majin Buu, he's been really consistent, and he's just carried sort of that on. And I think the thing that maybe caused Budokai to lose this match more than anything, at least for me, is they kind of got Budokai. The way that they like to work, mainly, from what I've noticed, is lots of rush B2s, right? So obviously Videl does that a lot. 18 does it with her ult a lot, and then Goku can do it as well, but I don't think Bujins gave them the space or time to do it. Margin Buu was consistently in the face, ulting, doing, the charging Kamehameha. So even if Adele got a rush off, she was going to take 10k trying to do it. So I think that they just got unlucky with some of their matchups as well. Evil Buu as well cleaned up really well. There was no slack from Evil Buu when he came in. I think he only had, I don't know how much he had to deal. I feel like it was probably about 30k maybe.
It wasn't much, I don't think.
And he just did it, and I don't even think he lost a bar from what I remember. So yeah, just really good performance from Bujins. I think fairly unlucky for Budokai. I think this might just be a team where they're going to struggle against potentially in general. So, yeah. Those are my thoughts. That's it.
Alright. Are we... I guess we can ask that question again. Where do you see these two teams going?
I will say that as I said previously, I think North Kai is very much a crapshoot. But I do think, in terms of character quality, I would argue that Bujins should be one of the better teams in North Kai. So I think Bujins have a good chance of, at the very least, making it to the they probably won't get, I'm not sure if they'll get the bye week, but they'll probably make it in at the very least. Meanwhile, Budokai currently sitting at the bottom of their division in West Kai, and see that's the division with Hybrids, Rugrats, and Derp. And I'm sorry to say that I do think Budokai is the weakest out of those teams. I don't think they'll make it in, to be perfectly honest.
All right.
Okay, so I agree with Budokai. I don't think they'll make it in. They've had some really good performances, or when they beat me. But they kind of seem wildly inconsistent is the issue. The weeks where they have won, or especially against me again, but they just destroyed. But the weeks where they've lost, this week, just completely annihilated. So yeah, I think don't think they're going to get in, especially with being the way they've been recently, pretty consistent. Now Boojans, kind of scared of Boojans. I'm not gonna lie, because I think they're going to actually make it in. Because I think again, what you said about their sort of character quality, almost, their characters are pretty good. I think Spope's the only kind of issue. If you look at his actual kit and everything. But I think they might make it to quarterfinals, maybe semi-finals. I think they'll do all right. So yeah, that's it really. I'm scared about going up against Boojans if it came to that. If I got that far and they got that far. So.
I will add on the topic of Budokai, because I just looked at it. They have the most tags in the league, and I think that's how they get a lot of their W's. It's just that their characters are so tag happy. They just, like, even though their characters are like on average, I don't think they're like the best characters in the league, but they just, something about the AIs they've chosen just want to tag all the time, which is incredibly frustrating to play against.
I think that's how Cyborg Tau mainly has got most of his damage. Because I think he has 6 tags. 6 tags just on him. So yeah, that's how he got most of his damage. So.
Yeah, it's very weird. Like, they have like 6 more tags total than the second highest team. So, which is a hell of a lot in my opinion. But yeah, I don't have anything else to add.
All right, then. Guess we can move on then to a good match. Rugrats versus Namek. With apparently
debatable, isn't it? That happy. Debatable. It's a good match.
Yeah.
Well, the outcome wasn't very good, at least for us. But
let's see. They have the same record, and not every day this season you get to see Gotenks.
But Gotenks got trashed.
Yeah, Gotenks came in and he did not perform.
Definitely not, no.
And wait, what is this I see? Is that an early Piccolo doing more than anything? Is that an early Piccolo doing 70,000 right there?
I have to assume so, because it's very hard to tell the difference between early and late Piccolo on these on these images that have been shown.
And also in the league, it's kind of hard as well. Not gonna lie, if they pick the same costume.
But yeah, it was a great week for Namek. So.
Oh god, yeah. I mean, the fact that Nerova, who's like pretty much one of their top performers, didn't even have to step on the field that says something in and of itself. I think I just couldn't. Now it upsets and pains me to say this, but first form Freezer against late Piccolo, I didn't think would be that bad at the start, but it was terrible. He did. I think Freezer did all of that 15k before he tagged out, and then he came back in and just died. So
I believe that's right.
So literally, he barely touched late Piccolo, and that was it. That's all he did. I think late had Dendays as well, so it was like he might have took a bar off him. That was a horrible matchup. Honestly, I think for Rugrats, just Cell Jr. and Freezer in general, just completely just dropped the ball. Obviously, Trunks and I say Trunks, Gotenks, and Goten, if you want to refer to them separately, didn't really do much either, but they did a lot more than what Freezer and Cell Jr. did. So yeah.
It's even weirder that Namek got such a hard win, because late Piccolo also had his series randomized off because they had 3 seriouses.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
I didn't even notice.
I literally just checked. But yeah, it's this was an absolute stomp. I remember when Gotenks came in. It's always weird when Gotenks comes in, especially this is the first time this season, right?
First
Mhm.
time out of 3 attempts.
Yes. Like whenever Gotenks comes in, he either becomes one of the most overpowered characters in the entire league, or he just kinda is a waste of a character. And even with 60k done, that's not really enough, I don't think, on a week like this.
You need 80k to just do, because the way they do it is they cut Gotenks' damage by half for Goten and Trunks, and 80k would technically be 40k for both.
Yeah. It was exciting that he almost got his Super Saiyan 3 ult off.
On a Piccolo.
Yes. If that had hit, things might have gone differently. It would have been very fun to see at the very least, but that's mere speculation.
I do want to just point out as well, because it might seem a bit misleading, but Nail that 33k, like that obviously it was clean up for one, but he also, again, I don't think he even lost half a bar. Like he just did that.
No, he lost 1 bar, and it was to Gotenks, and then he killed Gotenks.
So he lost 1 bar and did 33k, which is quite impressive, really, to just clean up that easily, and not even have to have Noam and stuff on the field. So.
And technically, this would have been a decent map for Nuova too, because it's like a lot of like air and stuff.
Yeah, he's more chance of his B2s hitting.
Oh, yeah.
But also more of a chance of his B2s missing.
Yeah, weirdly. Yeah.
So it's like a 50-50.
Yeah.
I don't think there's really much more we have to say on this match.
No, it was kind of just like a heavy stomp with the added spice of Gotenks.
Right. Considering I might know your answers already for where Namek might be heading later this season, where do you think Rugrats is going to be?
Oh, that is an interesting question. Currently, Rugrats is second highest in Weskai, behind the hybrids at 8 and 2. So I very much doubt that they're gonna get the bye. Like there's almost no way that they're gonna get the bye, I think.
All right.
But as I said, I think Budokai are gonna get knocked out. So I definitely think Rugrats are gonna make it, and I think a semifinal might also maybe be in the cards for them.
All right.
See, I think they're I don't want to curse it, but I think they're in. They're in. I don't think they're going to get caught by Budokai or Dirt, like both of them at the same time. So I think they're in. I don't think they'll beat hybrids, but at the same time, it wouldn't shock me if that makes sense. It's like a sort of 60% hybrids if they ended up going against them. So I don't think that I think they might just say they'll get in, they'll go against Derp or Budokai, beat them, and then go against hybrids and lose. That's what I think. Yeah. Well, obviously, we don't need to talk about Namek because we already know what.
We already know both of you are going. We already know that both of you think you're just going to go past them.
Exactly. Like, Namek, admirable performance, but Cold and Royals have now said that we're gonna absolutely destroy you.
Yeah.
Except you always have.
How it's gonna go?
I mean, Royals, I believe, because they won versus Namek. Cold was about to win, and then Nuova said Nuova thing.
Hey, I fixed Mecha Freeze's build now, so Mecha Freezer will actually do damage. He won't just do 10k. So.
No. He won't do 8k. Remember that.
Oh yeah, it was 8k. Yeah, exactly. So. He
didn't even do a bar.
Exactly. I've fixed it. It's fixed now.
Remember, we can't go one cast without shit talking somebody. That's on here.
Exactly. Hey, it's not shit talking. It's motivational banter.
It's great banter. Really is.
Mutual motivational banter. There you go.
Exactly. since we're shit talking, the teams we're shit talking also can reserve the right to shit talk back. So
when they
Yeah,
get
yeah.
on.
exactly.
I
All right.
always.
All right, but I'm quite excited to go to this next one.
I wonder why.
Gee, I wonder.
And since we're going to this next one, X-Men, why don't you lead us off?
Well, the first thing I want to talk about straight away, when you just look at the screen, Zangar hit exactly 40k. What? Okay, perfect 40k. So I can't believe. Now I thought Zangar against 17. I did think she would do well, like maybe do 30k or 35k, do well against 17. But the fact she actually won out against 17 is pretty insane, to me at least. And then, from what I remember, was it Broly came in next, right?
Yep.
Broly and then Fasha? That's right, isn't it?
It was,
Yep. Yeah, that was it. Broly against 16, wasn't it? That was it. I remember. So Broly, he had a little bit of an off week until he transformed, but when he transformed, all the damage, that was when the damage basically started coming in. And then was Broly tagged, right?
Yeah.
On one bar.
Yeah.
Broly tagged on one bar
With Savior.
with Savior.
in Legendary.
Yeah.
In Legendary, that was the key. I remember that now. Yeah.
We keep adding small details we'd forgotten about. Yep.
Yeah, little details. Fasha killed 16, right? And then Cell came in. And then that's where I thought the match was going to swing, because Cell against Fasha. Fasha's good, but she's obviously on a defense build.
By the way, Fasha's some of her two worst matchups for androids are against perfect and super perfect Cell. So
that's what I thought, that because obviously Fasha's on a defense build, Cell's on a melee build, and it's Cell. It's super perfect Cell. Despite the things that were happening earlier in the season, the first few weeks, he's very good. So when the match started swinging back towards androids, and then before Fasha tagged, even after she tagged as well, because Gogeta came back in, and now I remember this, he kept trying to use Big Bang Kamehameha constantly, and he would always just get hit out of it. Except the beam clash where he won against Cell, which I think,
and also the very last one he was able to do.
Which was, didn't he get a full charge off it as well and do 10k?
No.
Where he did. Okay,
I swear there was a charge Kamehameha that hit for a billion damage.
No, it was charged. It just wasn't fully charged.
Oh, he did it when Super 17 launched his ult as well. Yeah. Super 17 got completely just Super 17 was in that animation getting ready to do his ult, but nope. Sorry, Big Bang Kamehameha fired off first.
Well, Gogeta started it.
Yeah, he did. He did start it first, but he was just too close.
He predicted what Super 17 would do, and
technically, if he kept charging, it was close enough to where if the ult fired, the ult would have hit first because it's bigger.
That is true.
Yeah, it's true.
I will say I was really surprised by how well Zangaya did against 17. To me, 17 is one of the scariest characters in the entire league. If I had to rate the top 5 scariest characters in the league, the 17 would be there, probably, in my opinion.
Agreed.
So just the fact that Zangaya took him out, and then she died to 16, I believe.
Yeah.
Right afterwards. Honestly, that's great. Zangaya for 17 is an amazing trade on the battlefield. And then, yeah, everyone on Cinema performed really well. More even though Broly's stats don't really seem like it. He did transform, he then tagged and did stuff in Legendary when he came back in. So honestly, it was just a great match.
He never came back in.
Didn't he?
No,
he got damage off before he
Oh, okay. I remembered as him coming back in and then going back out again.
Oh no, he never came back in.
Okay.
Cinema did tag a lot though. That one was. How many tags did you have this match? It must have been 2 or 3, right?
Everyone but Zingaya. Actually,
Broly and Fasha tag.
yeah, Broly and Foster tagged.
Which was pretty good for you guys in clutch moments as well. So
Yeah. On androids, I mean, obviously, super unfortunate that 17 got taken out the way he did. He didn't spam nearly as much as he usually does. Or at the very least, nowhere near as consistently as he usually does. And yeah, that performance from Super 17 is just not what you're looking for. Super 17 is also a relatively scary character, like not to nearly the same degree, but he's up there, in my opinion. And 13K, that's not what you want to see.
definitely not.
No. This match, I tell you, was preparing for 3 weeks. So, what we were doing for this match is androids. Androids, like, at least Donut predicted or at least tried to predict our lineup. He predicted the characters, just not the lineup. He was thinking either Gogeta and Fasha were the first 2, and then Zengai and Broly were the last 2, which is why he put 17 in front, apparently.
Yeah.
And, no. We, kind of were expecting either 16, 17, or Cell to start. And we were like, Gogeta and Fasha can do stuff, but they have harder matchups later. And then, we just put Zengai there. We knew she'd do at least her damage. We never thought she was going to kill him and be exactly 40k.
I just love that, the exact 40k.
Oh yeah, that is
perfect number.
Like,
ridiculous.
I tell everyone this. No matter how much I dislike Zengai, she does get the job done.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. I mean, you can't scoff at her. Just taking 17 out is so big.
I can't complain if she's winning me matches.
Exactly.
I mean, you know what? Hair on point, consistency on point.
Mate, she just needs to consistently get that perfect 40k.
No. What do you mean hair on point? I don't see a single point in that hair. But you know whose hair I do see a point in? Broly's.
No. Pointy hair in my D&D, my DBZ.
All right, you hear here first, folks. Apparently, Fat Happy has just been playing a D&D campaign this entire time.
Pointy hair.
No, just because I play D&D 6 times a week.
Just because you do it every single weekend, even though it's streamed, apparently.
Yeah.
All right, but
okay, but
as far as predictions go,
yeah.
I don't really. Where are you in your standings right now, Sid?
I am currently bottom of South Guy.
You are shared bottom with Sentai in South.
No, not shared. We're bottom.
Oh, you're above. No, currently you're above.
We
them,
lost
according-
we lost divisional.
You lost a divisional? Okay, that needs to be fixed then. But yeah, like you and Sentai are 6 and 4, and then Kaiju and Androids are 7 and 3. So like
Very close.
it's a pretty close division.
Not something you hear normally from South Guy.
I don't know. I must admit, I think Androids is ultimately, like, to me, Androids would be my pick for the team most likely to go all the way other than my own team.
Okay.
Well, what's up, Xmat?
There's a bit of a barrier for your team. But yeah.
Specifically, I feel like scarred by 17 every time I see him on the battlefield.
So good. The Photon Flash, the fucking blue balls, like, he gets you.
Exactly. The PTSD is real.
I will say, Zengaya was doing like a few 20-hit combos. 17, all he needed to do to bring it near even, ball.
Yeah.
I would say though, between Kaiju Cinema and Sentai Squad, I really don't know who's gonna end up as like the second highest in that division. It's yeah, I don't have much else to add.
For me, again, I agree on androids in the sense I think they'll win the Kai, but I don't know. I don't know if they'll make it to the bowl. I mean, maybe, yeah, okay, maybe they will. I think it's between them and hybrids. I think will be who gets to the bowl, sort of thing. On that side of the bracket, rather. And then for cinema, it's kind of just tough because how do you pick from cinema, kaiju, and sentai? It's so hard. Like,
Especially with the teams they have this year.
Exactly. I think if the season started now and you just looked at everyone's roster again, I would say cinema are going to finish top of South Card because your roster is that good. But everyone else, characters on their team, some of the other teams, are outperforming themselves. If I'm honest, I think you'll probably make it over. I think Kaiju maybe might drop out. I don't know. But I don't think you'll make it past androids. I think that when they have the 5-man, I think they might just sort of.
I mean, their fifth person hasn't been performing all too well.
He hasn't, but they've got 19.
Sometimes all they need is that fifth person to hold it down.
Yeah, that's true.
But your fifth person is Janemba.
Our fifth person is actually Pycon.
Wait.
He's also not holding it down from what I remember you saying.
Is it not Janemba?
No, Janemba's on the bench.
Oh.
He's been on the bench for like 5 weeks.
He's getting a Deborah treatment.
No, that's true. Okay,
He's getting the Deborah treatment. He's very good in testing. When it comes to main season, he fucking sucks.
I need art of Janemba and Deborah sitting looking sad on a bench together.
Or just sitting there with some tea with a sign of good in testing, but FA bench.
Alright, but shall we move on?
Oh, I wanted to say one more thing. A really funny moment. 16 grabbed Broly when he was still in Super Saiyan. With a Hell's Flash, Broly transformed and grabbed him with his own B2 with gigantic hammer.
Yes, I loved that. That was.
Right, let me show you how it's done.
Let me show you how it's really done. We needed to make that a short. Someone go comment.
Yeah. Please do.
Alright, anyway, yeah, we can move on now. Even though I think my own personal thing is androids ain't making it with cinema. We're gonna make it. We won't get the buy, but we will make it. Just a little bit biased.
Alright.
Can't be as biased as me and Fat Happy.
Yeah, me and Xmat just throw shit at each other on a daily basis.
Alright, moving on. We got match 6 of DT and ED, and honestly, this one, if you look at it on paper, I think it seems closer, but what actually happened is just the 3 Super Saiyans just decided, okay, we're going to take over this match now, and you're going to watch Tien. You're not going to make us lose another one again.
They channeled the power of the blonde hair, and obviously, given Tien's the condition of Tien's scalp, he cannot partake of that power, so they left him there.
Oh, poor Tien, being bullied. Krillin's on the bullying line too as well, because he's bald. God damn it. Poor characters. Fine, no. All my characters are basically bold. They're all powerful.
It was a real stomp, but I seem to remember Grandpa Gohan at the very least looking pretty alright.
He did
had
almost
some
30.
funky moves.
He did do the second highest.
Yeah,
He beat. He killed.
Vegeta, I think.
Yeah.
Vegeta, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
And then he got stomped.
Yeah. I remember this was the match with 3 Vegetas. In it.
Yeah, it's gonna get very confused.
three Vegetas and 2 Gokus.
I mean, technically, it's not as confusing as your team can be a team of entirely Vegeta.
But it's not.
Yet.
Not right now. Not yet. we say literally with Team Cold next to us. Team, I am like 90% Frieza and Cooler.
Frieza, yeah, that's my team. Frieza Cooler, that's the one.
Yeah. But, it's, I don't know about you guys. I find it hard to say anything about this match because it was just like a real big stomp.
Yeah, it was our second other like kind of stomp of the week.
Yeah, Sin did transform into Omega, I believe, towards the end of the match, but only like right before dying.
And then he got, yeah, he did.
Yeah,
It was like
seconds before dying.
Oh, I remember something from this match. Remember when Sin just kept running away because he just burned through his ki.
Oh yeah,
It's just, and then he transformed and then died.
full ki, run away, full blast. Reach the wall, transform, die one punch.
Oh.
He's still having repercussions the last time he was in when he took a ult to the face and didn't even feel anything.
I'm starting to think Sin might need therapy.
Yeah, I think he does. Definitely.
Yeah.
For me, when you said about, there's not much to talk about. I mean, Baby and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta not working is kind of like pretty bad for GT. I mean, I think Baby's been doing well this season. Let me check. Let's actually double check that. Yeah, 52k. Yeah, he was an all-star as well, wasn't he? And then Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta is 45k. So they've had some big off weeks for those guys, but at least I think Sin performed near enough average because his average is 36k. So Sin did all right. As for ED, I mean, he just got everyone working now. That it's insane for them because last season I think TN was sort of a big backbone for their team, but if everyone else can sort of get up to scratch, especially Super Saiyan 1 Midku, because I know that they've had issues with him where like he hasn't been ulting or like his ults have been. I know I've had this issue obviously because I've invested in KSA builds. Obviously they can't use KSA; they have to use Dragon Spirits. It's a bit more difficult.
Well, they can use KSA if he was in base form.
If he was in base, yeah. But I know the difficulty of like you need to set your ults up, and I think he wasn't doing that very much. So like not actually using them or not setting them up correctly, he weren't hitting anyway. So they've had issues with that, but he seemed back to his best this match. I mean, Enku, oh my god, he was not taking any prisoners. He saw Grandpa Gohan kill Vegeta and was like, nope, I'm not having any of this. And it just swept through him and swept straight through Baby. Like
I will avenge my rival by killing my grandfather.
Yes. Exactly.
But yeah, what you mentioned about Tien is like pretty on point because last season Tien was in the 50k club, I believe. He had 51k average last season by the end of it, which is much better than his current 31k average. But
31K.
yeah, but just the fact that they didn't need him.
Didn't need him. He just didn't need to pay us.
He could just sit there and look while the rest of the team does the work, apparently. So, yeah. As far as GT goes, I mean, this is obviously an anomaly because both Super Saiyan 4 and Baby Vegeta are sitting with great averages, with Super Saiyan 4 at 45 and Baby at 52. And I believe this is after stats for that week was added.
Yeah.
So they are their stats were already insanely high. So this is more of an anomaly than anything else.
One of them was an all-star.
Which is
Baby.
No, what do you say?
Baby was an all-star.
Yeah, Baby was an all-star. That's true. But what's even weirder? I find it so weird that GT is I always feel like GT performs well and then still loses. Somehow, they're obviously Iskai, me and Xmat. But I don't know. It just every time they fight, they just seem to get more losses than the rest of us, even though they're fighting pretty hard and their characters have great averages. I don't know what's going on.
Sure, bad luck.
But right now, Earth Defenders look to be the top of North Kai, probably the one that will get the bye week eventually. Considering how much of a fight it is for North Kai right now. And then
this is a bad analogy, but it's North Kai is the dog fights with the Spitfires in World War II, and everyone else is just jet planes.
Just the fact that Earth Defenders has that one win lead over everyone else in North Kai is huge because of how close the division is, and the fact that the three other teams are all tied at 3 and 7 compared to their 4 and 6. And yeah, I do think I did mention that I think Bujins is the scariest team character wise in North Kai, but I also have to agree that Earth Defenders are really scary to fight. Team Pseudo Super Saiyan. So
I agree. I think that if we're talking about predictions now, which I shouldn't have been say that now anyway, but I would say ED are gonna get the bye.
GT gonna beat Namek.
It would be. I want that to happen for a comeback story for GT, but it just seems such a high mountain because they need to win this week, they need Namek to lose, then they need to beat Namek, and that could happen obviously, but then they also need to keep ahead of Namek as well, so it's kind of it's a hard mountain. I want them to do it.
I mean, Namek is only 5 and 5, so it is not.
They do have to have bench late Piccolo twice as well.
Yeah.
You know what, Xbat, I think you should just take the L on this one and just loss streak for the rest of the season while we give GT some wins while I keep winning, and then I'll be at the top of the division. You'll be knocked out, and GT will make it in. Everybody's happy. No real loss to the league.
I mean, no one wants you to win again because you've already won this season. So I need to be your roadblock. So I need to beat you.
My guy, if you win it,
back-to-back champion, all right.
But but if you do it, then you might get looked at for nerf.
The only reason I keep winning is because I keep selling off Pilaf for a stack of cash.
Pilaf, the ultimate.
Pilaf is just a briefcase with 10 Zenny in it every season.
Oh my god.
Which may not seem like a lot, but it's funny that it happened twice.
God damn it, stupid.
Alright, but speaking of North Kai, you want to move on to match 7?
Yep.
Match 7, we have Muscle and Derp. Derp at the 4 and 6, Muscle being with well, basically the rest of North Kai other than ED at 3-7. And I don't think anybody thought Derp was going to win this one.
I didn't. I really, really didn't. Especially with the first sort of matchup being Kui versus
13.
Android 13. Which, can I just say, Zangief versus 17 was really impressive earlier on. This was even more impressive. Kui, not only did he beat 13, like, in base, 13 transformed as well, and then he beat him still, and then did like 10k to Rikuma.
Yep.
Like, that was insanely good from Kui, of all people.
I think, considering how stats are, you think Muscle kind of wanted Raccoon to do a little bit more, because, Garlic Jr. doing near 50k, which doesn't always do for Muscle, but he has been doing decently well recently. And then Bojack with his 60k on not his, well, kind of his usual build for when Garlic and 13 are in, since he will be cut off of the Eternal Life budget if they're both in. But, someone who really impressed me, the Doria, has been really impressing me as of late, proving that he is one of the best characters on Derp.
While we're here and we're talking about Dodoria, not Deborah,
Dora.
Deborah, yeah, Deborah.
Deborah.
My favourite character. No, do you remember when he did that ult and it was like 1 pixel away from who was it? I can't remember who was. It might have been against Garlic.
Yeah, it was against someone.
It was against someone, and they were literally a pixel away from his ult, and they literally just stood there and watched
and watched fire in their face.
Literally fire in their face, and just they didn't get hit by it. They stood there. It was just menacingly.
Warming yourself by a campfire.
Come on round campfire.
Reheating.
Sing our campfire song.
On the point you were making, Destiny, Dodoria is like I've been of the opinion this entire season that Dodoria has been the most consistent and probably second best character on there. Well, obviously it's hard to top Hercule in terms of like potential.
I mean, in terms of potential, I actually think Dodoria has been the best character on Derp just because of how much Hercule was inconsistent for most of this season.
I mean, he is the best right now in terms of stats, but I mean, like if we had to put them on a tier list of like who is the best character on Derp, I would still put Herc at the top.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. But yeah, Dodoria is definitely not a sleep. Like he's kind of, or he's definitely a sleeper good character. Who's just kind of been falling under the radar for some reason, even though he keeps performing really, really well. So yeah,
I agree.
Well,
otherwise, but yeah, the Kui beating the ever-living crap out of 13. That was nice to watch.
You know what 13 always does whenever he's getting beat? He just does that slow walk.
The slow walk of doom.
Every time. It's the slow walk and then he dies. But anyway, getting on to predictions, because honestly, this was a good and a little bit of a close match, but where do we think both these teams will be later this season / next season?
I mean, Derp is Weskai. I think they're making it into the playoffs, since I think Budokai are gonna get knocked out. I don't see them getting further than either Rugrats or Hybrids, though. Like, that is, even Rugrats, I think Rugrats are a bit better than Derp. So that's where I stand on Derp. I do think that they've really gotten their characters to work this season. So next season they're definitely gonna be a menace. It's called that. And as far as Muscle goes, North Kai is just weird. I somehow think Muscle looks like the weakest team in North Kai, which is
Not something
which
you'd
is
say normally.
which is not something I'd say normally. It feels wrong. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about North Kai Team Muscle.
Alright.
That division, yeah.
Okay, so for me, I agree pretty much entirely with Derp. I think they'll get through, but like to the actual playoffs, obviously. But then going against Rugrats or Hybrids, I think they're probably likely to lose. But having said that, I would have said that last season as well in the playoffs, and they proved everyone wrong by getting like all the way up to the semis. So
That's true.
they have the potential to do it. So I'm not going to help them out entirely. Then Muscle, I think they're gonna make it into the playoffs over RW personally, but I think obviously just not having Broly and having Raccoon, Raccoon's just I don't know, I find him too inconsistent. Same with Garlic, he can be like that, but I feel like Garlic is a little bit more consistent.
Especially small garlic.
Yeah, especially small garlic. Yeah, definitely. But I just think, yeah, not having Broly is going to make it hard for them. I don't think they make it past Fusions and or Earth Defenders. So
I mean, I don't know what their thought process was behind the garlic for Broly loan. I mean, I can respect wanting to like spice up your team for a season
Uh-huh.
with a new pick, especially a character like Broly that's so deeply ingrained as being a muscle character. Um, but yeah, I agree on the Raccoon not being the greatest that character, just sitting at 27k right now.
It's like Raccoon, he has potential to be like one of the best characters on Muscle when you but or like just one of like the most consistent, but he's not.
I
this
definitely
kid is good, but yeah.
I definitely think he has potential as something like an old spammer or something, because he has a super fast max power B1 and his ult is super good since he has a power body in max power mode, I believe.
And he also
Yeah,
has
yeah.
false courage, remember that?
Yeah, so I don't know. There's something about that character that just hasn't clicked yet for Muscle. Either it's an AI issue or maybe it's a build issue. I don't know. But
Maybe.
there's something that needs to be fixed on.
Yeah.
Right, but shall we get moving to the final match?
All right.
Moving on, we have match 8 with Sentai Squad versus Kaiju, the second and last divisional of the week. Because this was South Kai divisionals this week. And Kaiju taking the win over Sentai, going to 7-3, while Sentai goes down to 6-4. I'm gonna be honest, I wanted Sentai to win this just so my team could have more of a chance of coming into, like, actually getting to playoffs. But personally, I don't mind either team winning this, especially when, you know, the boy Nappa and the boys Nappa and Bardock does well. Turo still does this 40. But looking at stats, you think it is almost like evenly split. It's just Kaiju did about 2 of the characters did like 20 more than 40k.
Yeah.
So.
I definitely agree. I don't know. I feel like this was a very good match. I just remember it being like pretty good, like a slight back and forth. Great Saiyaman. As per usual, like I don't know what's happened because I haven't really noticed him being a great character in past seasons. But this season, I feel like he's like carrying the team almost. Like he's performing out of his mind.
Wait, which character?
A great Saiyaman.
Oh yeah, he was considered to be dropped this season. That's kind of how bad he was.
And now he's 56k, which is absurd. One of the best characters in the current season.
Not something you normally say about Saiyaman.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
And then I don't know. I mean, on Kaiju's side, both Bardock and Nappa performed like really, really well, and it's always nice seeing Turles performing reasonably. Like I personally think that Turles is like a really, really good character kit wise.
I know, bro. I know, bro.
Yeah, you know, like if I could have had him added to my master list, I would have.
You would have sniped him.
Hey, I already made a document. It just got denied. So
Anyway.
but yeah, it's yeah. I thought it was just a good match, good back and forth for the most part. I think.
can we just say, you know, you were saying about Great Sandman 56k, Nappa
60K
59,324 average,
with
and
a
60K this week. He has been so good this season, like really good.
I mean,
Yeah.
Nappa
insane.
has very consistently been just the backbone of Kaiju, in my opinion.
He just always.
almost all the seasons.
He's always been, for me though, he's always been like a, I always saw him as a 40k average character. That's sort of where he would get to.
It's like
I just saw him being able to do this because
I see Nappa the same way I see TN, which is that there's never any like really explosive moments, even though he's like spans Kappas all the time, so funny. Like he's not a super like hype character to look at, but he gets the job done like almost every week.
yeah, like the hype characters you want to look at are like Bardock, Scouter, whoever their FA is at the time if they have a good FA, and then like Nappa and well, I guess now Turles are like the two backbones of the team who can get the job done.
see, I kind of agree with that, but I don't know. I just have this hate for. I mean, his 1v2 is just horrible. Like
Volcanic.
I always thought that would just bring him down. The volcanic explosion is just
Also,
the worst B2
can we-
in the game.
Can we just say the FAs here not really proving to be all that much?
Oh my god.
Murktau
yeah.
barely 30. Murktau not even 30. Adult Gohan of all characters at not even 17,000.
Adult Gohan's been doing well though, generally.
Oh no, like his average,
Yeah.
but I'm just talking specifically this match.
Yeah, his
No, I was
average
just
is about
checking because
45.
I know Murktau, his average isn't very good.
Yeah.
But I just I couldn't remember if, because I think Adult Gohan's one of the only top FAs that's doing well right now. Because Pycon's not doing well.
He's about 45k.
I
Yeah,
think
he's.
Adult Gohan and Vegito are the only two.
Hmm.
Vegito, I think, is like at least above 40. While like Pycon, Tapion, Murktau are like. Oh.
Mm. Meanwhile, Tambourine.
Meanwhile, Tambourine.
Oh my god.
Maybe you should have had Tambourine in all season. Could have been an all-star.
Hey, man, you know, I can't predict that Mr. Consistent in testing just decides to give up. You know,
Even though it happens every season.
Yeah,
You just have to have. He has hope. He has hope,
I'm
man.
a gambling man, all right. You know,
And not a lot of time does this gamble work out.
I'd rather gamble on the board performing well. But all right. No, enough about the board. We keep talking about the board because I like talking about the board.
Yeah.
No, serious. Like, these are two South Kai teams again. I think we already said. I think it's been said earlier. Out of the three teams that aren't androids, no idea who the fuck's coming.
Honestly, when we say about like North Kai, you look at it, it's like, oh, like what is going on there? South Kai's like the opposite. It's like you look at it and go, this is going to be so unfair for one of these teams to not get through. It's going to be ridiculous.
It's gonna be
like,
North Kai 2020 all over again.
Oh
yeah, exactly.
Oh, I remember that.
I'm sorry that happy, but I had to bring it up because that's basically the correlation.
It might actually be even worse. Like I wouldn't be surprised with the way it's going. It's just ridiculous.
It's strange. It's strange that North Kai is the division with like the worst records overall, and South Kai is the division with the best records overall. It's really strange.
Yeah, overall, while there's some teams who have better records, it's just overall as a whole division, it's like
Yeah.
they're so like tightly packed.
And I'll be honest, I would have predicted something like this, but because of the FAs. But the FAs have been like a non-factor. In fact, in some ways, they've been detrimental, like completely. So that's just
Literally every FA for South Kai, other than adult, on some weeks have been like detrimental. Because the only other FA that wasn't used by South Kai that is really good is Vegito for Budokai.
Yeah. It's just mental. But yeah.
But I mean, well, I want my team to get in. I literally do not know out of Sentai and Kaiju who would get in. Because Kaiju and Sentai legit have a actual way of getting to the bye week.
Sorry, one thing I just noticed, I was looking at their builds to see if there was any like spectacular boosts or anything that happened for this divisional. They swapped out Jace with Seiya Woman on the FA bench?
Yeah,
Yep.
no, I thought, honestly, I think Hal would be the better option. Just because, I don't know why, but Hal's just been underperforming.
Oh, I just think it's a really interesting move on their part that they did it this week.
They could have done it. They could have done it literally the week after this and done it for free.
Yeah, because they paid Zenny for it.
Unless it's Big Brain, and they put Say Woman in for Jace, and then they put Tao in for. Then they put Tao on the bench for bring Jace back in. Big Brain.
My guess is, and it could just be a completely bad guess, like fabricated, completely lies. But maybe like last season, one of their supporters worked with Merctown, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe they'll just go back to that build that was working, or one of the builds that was working. Maybe I don't know what builds they've been using compared to last season, but maybe they think, oh, we'll just go back to an old build, and maybe that's what they're going to do. So,
Alright. But anyway, shall we get to moving on to our tier list slash power rankings? Alright. Here we have our tier list slash power rankings. We do not have the week 10 power ranking, but if you've seen this week, you know Sentai, Androids, and Hybrids, who are the top 3 of last week, would be going down a peg.
So,
and I would be getting that high win versus a higher rank, obviously. So.
I would be getting a win versus higher rank, and a div. Additional game, I would gain a win versus higher rank. I'd already have 3 from a win plus a divisional win. So.
Wow, you're flying up.
Yeah,
but
I mean, I would also go up, just not as much, because I had a higher rank than Resurrected Warriors.
Yeah. Kaiji would also go up quite a bit because they beat Sentai. But
meanwhile, Resurrected Warriors at the bottom, going deeper into the bottom.
Deeper into
the
spiral of the bottom.
Muscle also going down towards the bottom, but you know.
Go up though.
Wait, who did Bujins beat again?
Budokai, right?
Okay, so it's not as much of a way up, but you know they're still going up.
They're climbing. They're going up the ladder.
But you know,
I mean, the thing that I feel like every team in the league should realize is that like win records don't mean that much. Like they're a good indicator of like your team's. They're somewhat of an indicator of your team's current success, but like you can, as happened with Resurrected Warriors last season, like 13-2 does make it all the way to the
now in North Kai, not doing super well.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like 20, like last season, I had my team Royals. We had a negative record, but we made it in barely into the playoffs, and then we ended up winning the bowl. So like, however you do in the power rankings, however your win record is, like
I was gonna say as well, this season where like me and you were, I think you were 5-1, we were 6-0, and then we just lost 3 games in a row. These things happen, right?
Now,
You can't lose
can
anytime.
I just say a couple things more, not on the power ranking, but on the tier list?
Mhm.
One,
Dude, the tier list looks funny as hell.
what's slightly frustrating me is the top is all
Yep.
like
Yep.
gray. It's all like gray, yellowish, a little bit of purple in there. I'm colorblind, that's probably why.
Well. The thing is, the top rank is
It's green.
Everyone is green except for
Except
Goku.
Goku.
Goku ruined it.
Goku ruined that tier list.
And then another thing that's surprising is you start going towards the bottom. You get the 25 to 30k. You have like 2 characters that really aren't normally there. Then you go to the tier under it. You have Majin Vegeta and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. And then you go to 10 and 20k. And then you look at what's in it.
The 10 and 20k is cursed as all hell. Like, oh my god.
But, you know, this running joke on the Caspule Cast, can we just appreciate Frieza Soldier 35 to 40k? You know, give a round of applause.
Yeah, Frieza Soldier, I applaud you. I applaud you. Just one singular clap.
Alright. Oh yeah, and Goten's literally at 10k because of Gotenks existing. It's the only reason why he has stats.
I was gonna say the 25 to 30. I think Evil Boo and Frieza kind of like got a bit screwed over there. They could only deal what was in front of them. That's all they could do.
I mean, Evil Boo wasn't really on that much of cleanup though. It was more Frieza was on cleanup.
I think Evil Boo cleaned up. He was the last person. And I think he only took 10k.
Either way, any more to say on this? Or move on to our predictions?
Really. I still find it so funny that the top row is all green except for Goku, and then honestly, finally, it's great to see Kid Buu at the top again.
Yeah, I agree.
Like it feels wrong. It's not usually
know,
at the top this season.
Actually, one thing. You wouldn't expect certain someone to be up there with those 3, and that's Kui with Bardock, Bojack, and Vegeta.
Well, Kui and Bojack to a certain extent, though.
No, I mean, Bojack to a certain extent, but we've seen him up there before. It's more Kui.
All I'm saying is Kui is not saying Lord Frieza anymore. Frieza's saying Lord Kui. Kui's on the top.
No. Kui's saying Lord Cooler because Kui is always under Cooler.
Oh yeah.
And Frieza's always under Kui now, so he's saying Lord Kui.
Lord Kui.
All must genuflect.
Rename the Death Ball of that next season.
Lord Kui, that's not a bad idea. I got 2 renames. So.
Oh yeah.
Not a bad idea.
But you know, moving on to predictions because it's the last thing we have. And this week, since it's the final third of the season, we have the final divisionals for each Kai, and we're starting off with a good one. An ED versus Muscle, with Trunks and Krillin coming back in. Does anyone know? Does any of these 2 teams have?
Let's find out right now.
That is a good question.
ED has 5 and Muscle has 9.
Alright.
As long as it's up to date, which I think it is.
Pretty sure that it is. Like stats were in. So Muscle has more Zenny to spend, which I think they're going to because this is the final divisional. And they're obviously not doing it on Devilman. There's like no one who's like necessarily evil on ED. Like yeah, it'll hurt because Super Saiyans. But there's no one who's like really evil.
Yeah.
I personally think ED will win this, but it will be close considering boost and considering basically this last week was I think their either strongest or second strongest lineup, depending on whether you value Tien or Krillin more.
That's fair.
But Muscle with, they're probably going to bench Raccoon if they have a bench. And then Trunks is coming back in, and we know how scary Trunks can be if he wants to, pop off.
I can check the benches.
True.
Raccoon still has one bench left.
And so does Garlic. I think it's one of those that will be benched. But
considering how
me,
Garlic's been doing.
Garlic's been doing 34k. Like, not the best, but also not like absolutely horrendous.
Better than Raccoon.
So, better Raccoon.
That for me, that's what it kind of like rests on. So for me, if Muscle bench Raccoon, I actually am going to lean towards Muscle. I think they could do it because I think with their best lineup, Trunks is just really, really good. Obviously, so is 13 and Bojack's just like. I feel like Bojack's, you know what you were saying earlier about like Nappa and TM. That's how I see Bojack. He stays in there, he does his damage, and then the transformation as well is just really good. So
it's true.
But if they do put Raccoon in, then I feel like ED are just gonna win because I just think, again, I just don't think Raccoon. He doesn't do enough damage to be able to.
He doesn't prove his worth.
Yeah, he doesn't do enough damage for the other team members to make up for it, sort of thing. Yeah, whereas Garlic, I think, could.
Alright. That happy?
I think ED is gonna take it. I just think ED's doing better than Muscle generally this season, and I don't know. I just feel like they're just gonna kind of stomp.
Alright, so that is 2 for ED, 1 for Muscle, correct?
Yep.
Alright, next we have Hybrids and Royals with Metacooler potentially coming back in. You never know with FAs because it's free FA swap week.
Plus it's Deborah.
19k Deborah.
And then we also have Hybrids with Future Gohan coming back in supposedly. Fat happy since Hybrids aren't here, and do you want to reveal some stuff you're going to be doing?
Reveal some stuff. Not really. Like on Royals, we just take every match in stride. Obviously, Hybrids is a very scary team.
You want to reveal who you're at least benching?
Well, we're FA benching Deborah.
I saw that. I saw that coming.
Yeah.
Yes. Wait, the cast comes out before or after builds?
Oh no, cast always comes out on Fridays.
That's true.
That's why we ask, and we also just answer if people don't know.
Yeah. Now we're planning on mention one of the big boys. So one of
the information we're gonna get. I'll tell you my bench later.
Considering Metacooler is coming back in, it's either Majin, Slug, or Tam.
Well, when I say big, I mean big.
Okay, so it's probably the Slug.
Yeah, probably Slug. Okay, see you later.
All right. So with that,
yes. Obviously, I think I'm gonna win because.
Obviously.
Because
wait a minute,
we broke the curse.
We say Slug, but technically King Vegeta can do.
That's why I said Slug or King, one of the two. This is
maybe hard. When I say big, maybe I mean whoever can throw out the biggest ult, which would be meta.
Yeah,
but you can't bench him unless you're moving the FA bench.
It's 2 weeks in a row.
Damn, you got me.
Or Majin Vegeta is on the bench because of his big ult and his big B2.
Yeah, that's true. It could be anyone.
He's throwing us in for a loop, man. He's throwing us in for a loop.
Exactly. But yeah, obviously a Hybrid's super strong team, so is scary. I want to keep this win streak going. So yeah.
I think
I'm gonna win.
I think hybrids really need to start benching Teen Gohan. Because there have been some matches where everyone thinks Teen's going to get benched because of how many benches he needs, and then Teen's not benched.
Like last match.
like last week. So I
that.
think it will still be close because don't underestimate people like Future, Ult, and Sword. But I think Royals will take it.
Right, there's gonna be a twinge. There's gonna be a twinge of bias in my vote, but also at the same time, I don't know whether I don't know. You can't discount hybrids, right? I just don't think you can discount what they've done the whole season. I think Team will be benched. I think it'll be very close because let me hold on. I need to guess who you're benching. Not happy. Yeah, okay, I know you're benching. I can just see right away. Okay, so when I know who's now going to be benched, I think that does actually lead me towards hybrids because the person you're benching is a lot better than the person you might bench. In fact, you can't bench him. What am I on about? So yeah, it's Slug. Of course, it's Slug. You can't bench King Vegeta. Yeah, okay. Slug. I think, despite the stats for this season, I would rather Slug I would rather not be going against Slug. I think Slug has higher potential than King Vegeta. And I think Future Gohan's been pretty good for hybrids from what I can remember, and I'm going to fact check that now as well while I'm there. Yep, Future Gohan 40k average, 43 for Sword Trunks, and 60k average. So I think they'll be fine. I think as long as they don't have another Nam versus Cooler type situation where like Nam goes against Margin Vegeta and just gets obliterated, I think hybrids got it. So yeah.
All right.
You're not gonna give me the W?
I wonder why.
Well, no.
Oh my god, Xmat.
Alright, well.
Every time. This man with his wrong opinions.
Alright, well, it is. Well, now we have 2-1 for the side of Royals. Next match, I think, is also going to be probably a 2-1, but I wonder why. But considering who they're bringing back in and who could go out, this might be a 3-up. So Budokai is bringing back in Vegito, and Namek really needs to bench late Piccolo. So
that is true.
And King Piccolo's coming back in.
And King Piccolo's I think King Piccolo's going to be in for the rest of the season at that point.
Yeah.
But considering how Vegito's coming back in, and if late Piccolo's out, they really only have one character that can like burst through most of their characters in Nuova. Because like the other characters they can burst, but they don't do it as consistently as late in Nuova. So I think Budokai will take this one, but barely.
That is actually a good point. I hadn't really considered the fact that it's likely that they might need to bench late, since this is not a divisional for them.
You also have to consider the divisional for East Sky is literally week 12.
Yeah. So they'll probably end up benching late. Or maybe even Nuova. Nuova still needs a bench also.
That's it.
Well, actually, early needs 2 as well.
Yeah,
early needs benches, but if there's divisional, but since the divisionals for East Sky are week 12, then it's likely that they're saving the early bench for week 12, probably.
That's true.
I assume.
So, go ahead. What's your vote?
I think, based on that, I can actually agree with Budokai might actually take it then. Based on like the benches alone. Because without either late or Nuova, those are Namek's heavy hitters. And if they're out and we know for a fact Vegeto's coming back in, then it's probably Budokai actually.
Alright.
Right. Okay. So, actually, Destiny, I wasn't going to vote for. I was not going to vote for Budokai, but now I am because what you said about the benches made me check the spreadsheet, and early Piccolo has an average of 26,000.
Yes.
King Piccolo has an average of 26,000. Nail has 40k, and Nuoba has basically a 60k at 57, right? And then Budokai, everyone on their team, other than
Tao.
Yamcha, who hasn't featured since the start of the season, and Tao, have 40k plus, and I think they're likely to bench Tao because, they might. When's their divisional? Yeah, I think they're likely to bench Tao actually because they're going to bench him this week probably, and then in 2 weeks as well because he's on one bench. So they're likely to have all their 40k members in against two 25k members. I mean, I know Nuova can clutch, but I don't know.
We definitely know Nuova can clutch.
Yeah, don't need to tell me that, no.
I think I mean, I can't see a world where they don't bench early Piccolo this week.
You mean late Piccolo?
Yeah, late Piccolo, because they absolutely have to bench early week 12, especially since after week 12 it's week 13 Sentai, then Muscle, then ED.
All strong teams.
Except for the North Kai win records. Historically, yes, the strong teams.
I mean,
where I'd be more concerned about those teams than I would be concerned about Budokai. All respect to Budokai.
All respect to Budokai, but it's like kind of hard when you have a lot of defense minuses.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And your strongest character is Jefe.
That is also true. Alright.
But
we're all in favor of Budokai winning.
Yeah, 3-0. I am surprised I changed Xmat's opinion.
I was trying to be unbiased.
Dude, I was just gonna vote for Namek on instinct, but then you also convinced me. So.
Alright, well, Kaiju and Derp. I actually think Kaiju is going to win this one, funny enough, even though they're in my Kai, and it's like you think bias would take over me and say that I want Kaiju to lose, but I just think Kaiju's bringing back in Scouter, because there ain't no way to bring in Pilaf. I'm sorry, Fat Happy, but ain't no way.
They should do it.
Oh, I'm so sad they're not bringing in the Pumpkin.
He's not even that bad.
Honestly, Pilaf has always been pretty decent.
I don't know if they can supply. I think they can supply his build. It's just
he transforms.
The problem is they're forced to have him transform on his team, but that's actually bad. Like Pilaf without a Broly ring. Okay, no, now you're bad.
Pilaf with a Broly's ring. Okay, you're semi decent. Good. You're semi decent to good. But anyway, I think
you're like Zengaya tier with a Broly's ring.
You're like
you get to be like
you're like
Piccolo tier when you have
you're
Broly's ring.
You're like blue tier with a Broly's ring.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I think Kaiju's going to win this one. Derp is bringing back in Salsa. It's just I think Derp has to bench someone like Hercule, considering it's on Kaiju's home map. And Hercule loves doing his rush B2s, his rush ult, and I don't know if present bombs can affect me. So when 8s come out, I think Hercule is useless. In B2s.
I have to agree there. Also, Nappa already has all his benches in, so it's guaranteed not being Nappa bench, and Scouter was benched this week. So Scouter's in next week, which means that both Scouter and Nappa are in next week.
So it's either Bardock, Turles, or Adult.
Yes. With Turles being the one with the lowest average, but even Turles is scary. It's not nearly as much as like someone like Bardock or Nappa, but still, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
I'll have to give it to Kaiju.
Thanks, Matt.
So, I mean, with me, again, I'm going to have to go Kaiju again. But that's because, looking at the benches again, Kui has to be benched. Well, not has to be, but is likely to be benched because he has 2 benches left. Turle is likely to be benched. So, like you say, you've got Scout coming back in, who's pretty much at 40k average. Bardock is going to be in 55, Appa 60, and Adult Gohan 45 against Derps. You know, they've got a good average with Doria at 48 and Hercule at 42, but everyone else is below 40. So I just think that it's going to be a bit of a struggle for Derp to match Kaiju. Especially with it being Kaiju's home maps, they can just go ape, and like you say, Present Bomb I don't think works on ape, so it's just not gonna be a fun time if that happens.
I also think it might be likely that Derp benches one of their stronger characters, like remaining stronger characters, because week 13 is their divisional with Rugrats.
Yeah, maybe.
So.
Alright, so I'm guessing that's a 3-0 to Kaiju. Sorry, I want to speed this up a little bit. We're reaching 2 hours.
Yeah, that's
right. Yeah. We like talking, apparently.
But next we have Sentai and Cold, and I'm going to go with Cold, not because I think Sentai is weak or anything. I just think Cold is a stronger team. But my opinion might change on Xmat. Do you want to reveal anything?
I was gonna say, do you want me to reveal? I can reveal. Okay, so base Zarbon, my boy, is starting. And our lineup order goes like this. So it's Zarbon, Freezer, King Cold, and Mecha Freezer.
Oh, so
Cooler is benched. So that might change your mind because Cooler does need 2 benches. So
Yeah.
I mean, I can see it because the divisional for you guys is literally week 12. I can see it.
Are you telling me you don't want to bench Cooler against Royals?
I think no. I think that's a no.
Damn.
Coward. I think I still have to go Cold just because I think your team has been picking up more than Sentai's, and Sentai now has to bring in Say Woman, who hasn't been in the entire season.
Hasn't she?
No, she's been FA bench this entire time.
But she has a 56k average.
No,
that's Say a Man.
That's Say a Man.
No. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. I'm blind. Okay, no, you are correct. You're correct. All right, I'm an idiot. All right. Too much talking. 2 hours of talking. All right, let's go.
2 hours of talking, and then probably going to go to sleep after this for some people.
Yes.
I'll
also give it.
Yeah.
Begrudgingly.
Begrudgingly because of facts.
Oh my god.
Exactly.
Has Destiny convinced you again?
Well, no. It's more just I think you're a stronger team than Sentai on average.
Now,
even without Cooler.
Now, if it was like, say, 2 members on Sentai are at least doing like 35 to 40, and then you have Saiyaman and Jiren doing, how much they're normally doing, maybe go in Sentai's favor, but it's kind of the Saiyaman Jiren show for Sentai, and then everyone else is like scrounging around.
Yeah.
I'm obviously unbiasedly going to give it to me. Clearly, no bias there. But, clearly, there's no bias. No. But what I will say is, I am actually I'm very scared of Sentai because as much as Saiyan Woman is an unknown for this season, I don't like an unknown, and also Videl destroyed me against Budokai. So if Saiyan Woman can just tap into that Videl energy, I could be completely destroyed. That, and also, as surprisingly as this might come, right, Jiren, I'm not, and this might come and bite me in the backside, but I'm not massively scared of Jiren. He's like a strong opponent, and I don't want to have to face him. But Berta is who I'm not looking forward to going against at all. His melee, he's going to stop my characters from doing what they want to do, which is just charge and spam and whatever. So Yeah.
All right. Well, that's 3-0, not 3-0, not whatever I just said. 3-0 to Cold. Now it's now we're moving on to our second and final divisional of the week, RW and Bujins, with Yajirobe and Buhan supposedly coming back in. I don't think there's either way and either FA is coming in.
Yeah, I definitely
It's a-
doubt it with
Seeing
General
as
Blue
the FAs are a pool and General Blue.
Who did they do this week on Bujins?
Buhan.
They benched Buhan, yeah. So Buhan.
Yeah,
Yes, Buhan is in.
I literally said Yaj and Buhan are coming back in.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't hear you say Buhan.
Yeah, yeah.
Pope's gonna be out.
I mean, it's kind of hard when there's boo spoke.
There's boo and boo and boo and boo.
It's either Buhan or Buand, you know. So it's very close.
But for me, I'm gonna say Bujins.
All right.
I just think that core of what I think it's going to be, which will be Buhan, Kid Boo, Margin Boo, Evil Boo. So all of the boos. Bye Spokovich, sorry.
All right.
I just think it's too strong. I think RW would buckle, especially with Yajirobe coming back in.
I have to agree.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously, I just fought Resurrected Warriors, and it was obviously like a hard fought battle, even with their build mistakes. But I just, with Buhan in and Kid Boo seemingly finally doing well again, I'm gonna have to give it to Bujins. Also, the likelihood of Resurrected Warriors shooting themselves in the foot with their builds is higher than non-zero.
Higher than non-zero. It's not 100%, but it's high.
So,
All right. Oh,
so yes.
I'm guessing that's 3-0 to Bujins, because I did agree in the middle of that Happy's talking that I agree with for Bujins winning.
Yep.
So next we have GT and Cinema with
Whoa.
Hycon and GT Goku coming back in. And I can reveal a little bit.
Let's go.
We're going to be benching our orange-haired girl. And a Super Saiyan is starting.
Ooh, let's say gotta be. Wait, it has to be.
It has to be Zengai.
No, it has to
No.
be Zangai, yeah.
No,
it has to-
the orange hair is benched. A Super
no, I
Saiyan
think-
is starting.
No, I think were you joking about Happy by any chance?
Yes.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I think it has to be Gogeta. Gogeta's got to start. I don't.
Yeah,
did he
it's
start this
Gogeta.
season?
It's
I
good.
was gonna say it.
Broly's had
Bro-
Savior this
Broly's-
entire season.
Yeah, Broly's
Yeah, I don't think
too
so.
stuck with Savior.
Yeah, so
If you have Broly without Savior, why do you even have Broly?
yeah.
True.
Okay,
Um,
but yeah. And you also have to consider GT's divisional is week 12 as well, so they might bench one of their stronger characters.
that is also true.
They're likely to bench. Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta has not had. He's only had one bench.
Who is their most likely starter?
Yeah. But I think that they might bench him this week so he comes back. By the way, Jiro or Grandpa Gohan has to be in for their divisional. I want to point that out now.
Yeah.
Because they're bench locked. So.
That's true.
Which is funny.
Yeah.
Either way, they have an old man in.
Yep, an old man will be in. I think I've got to give it to Cinema. Personally.
Yeah.
I just think the fact Grandpa Gohan is probably going to be the one that's in.
Oh yeah.
I tell you what, if Jiro was going to be in, I would actually. There's a chance that I might give I might give it to GT. But no.
If not for the fact that I think it, like as you said, that it's highly likely that they bench Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta or Baby Vegeta or even Sin. Like
Either way, it's one of their top three.
honestly, either way, it's like to me that feels like it's gonna be a big hit to their performance if any of those characters go when they have Grandpa in,
And
or Jiro.
and
So,
can you
yeah,
guys
Cinema.
can you guys guess who's second? Or supposed to be second?
Broly.
Bro,
Yep.
Yeah, I knew it.
Broly second has been working out really well. Only if he doesn't get cucked by tags.
That's one way of putting it.
Yeah.
All right. I'm assuming we're all in agreement, and you didn't just suddenly decide to vote against your own team.
Totally unbiased opinion of me choosing Cinema for whatever reason.
Yeah.
All right.
You would.
I mean, I want GT to make it, but this is like the one match where I want them to not win.
Yeah. I want them to make it as well.
Android Rugrats.
I already told Tosh, but I actually have a legitimate reason. Androids can't have a full Android lineup this week. They have to have Tapion in unless they're going to be FA benching Tapion for 19. Which, even though I feel like one of their people want, it's not going to really work out considering we haven't seen 19 almost at all this season other than preseason. And then Rugrats will be having a Rayleigh come back in.
Yeah.
And we'll probably have Kid Trunks stay in. Maybe Goten out. Don't know.
It seems to me like it's likely that we're going to end up seeing a Super 17 bench because he's the only one that's only been benched once.
Yeah. I mean, which isn't a bad bench considering how he did last week, but still.
No. I would assume it's a Super 17 bench.
Yeah.
I would assume that too.
Meanwhile, on Rugrats, they have one bench left on everyone.
Okay, so it's literally a ball game, except we know Rayleigh's coming back in.
Yes.
All right.
So,
well, I'm going to have to go with Rugrats here, just because I think if Tapion was doing better, I'd probably say Androids, but Tapion's not really doing that well.
I'm still gonna give it to Androids. I think that Super 17 has mentally scarred me to the point where I see Super 17 in, okay, they win.
Isn't Super 17 going to be out?
I think you mean Android.
Like Android 17.
Okay, I was about to say Super 17. I was like,
I meant
unless you meant his super costume.
17.
Unless you meant his super costume.
No. I meant the 17 that's a super. Like, not as in the Android called Super 17, but the super version of 17.
Honestly, it's so confusing. They put super on 17. There's a character called Super 17, and now 17 appeared in Dragon Ball Super, and he's mostly called Dragon Ball Super 17.
Yes, I definitely did not just misspeak, and now I'm making a joke of it. That would never happen.
All right.
No.
Xmat, now it's your vote to break a tiebreaker.
Right. Now, Tosh isn't going to like me saying this, but I am going to give it to Androids because, one, it's on their home mat, which obviously gives them an inherent advantage anyway in the first place. Two...
Quick kick them, but they do have an Android.
They do have an Android, they do, but two, I think the fact that Cell Jr. is likely to be in because he's their lowest average, so they're going to want to bench him against, I think it's Dirt that they're last.
Yeah, Dirt.
So they're likely to not bench Cell Jr. So if Cell Jr. is in, then that means that they've got a 20. Obviously, you said Tapion's coming back again with a 25k average himself, but Cell Jr. has a 25k average, so that kind of matches up. But then you've got who else they could have in will be Kid Trunks, Goten, Rayleigh, and Frieza. Obviously, they've all got good averages, but I just put Cell above most of them and 17 above most of them. And then you've got 16, who's just a ridiculously good starter who could just pop off at any time. Like even last season when he was doing awful and he had that elite like 120k performance, he could just do that like at any point. So
all right,
that
is 2-1 for Androids. And with that, after this long capsule cast, we are now at the end. And feel free to comment down below for anything you may have liked, disliked. I did do some improvement on the visuals. Some of them didn't come through because the website I was getting it from, which is an official Dragon Ball website, did not wanted to crash in the middle of me making slides. Remember to check out the links to the Discord, the website, the Twitter, and the TikTok in the description down below. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more. We are, I think, doing well on subscribers, I think. And don't forget to hit that notification bell to get, notifications about when we upload our stuff. But with that, I have been your host, Destiny, with my 2 guests.
Xmat.
Fat Happy 3.
Alright. And we'll be seeing you next time. Everyone say bye.
All right, bye.
Bye.